Welcome everybody to a look at a new Indicator release, and it is 1959's Edge of Eternity. So this is directed by Don Siegel, who I've seen 13 other films from, favourites being the likes of Dirty Harry, The Lineup, Charlie Varick, and Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original one from the 50s. And just like that original Invasion of the Body Snatchers, this is an 80-minute long film, clocking it, and it's a crime film. It stars Cornell Wilde, who's in the likes of Leave Her to Heaven and The Big Combo, as well as Victoria Shaw, who is in The Crimson Kimono and Westworld. Mickey Shaughnessy is in this as well, who is in From Here to Eternity and Conquest of Space. And finally, Jack Elam, who I've seen in 13 other films. He was usually either in uncredited roles or very minor roles, but he did have some solid supporting roles as well in the likes of Kansas City Confidential, The Man from Laramie, and Rawhide. So helped by socialite Janice Kendon and barkeeper Scott O'Brien, Arizona Deputy Sheriff Les Martin works to solve three brutal murders in and around the Grand Canyon. So this reminded me of the even better Bad Day at Black Rock in a few ways, as this is also the same length as that film, has a mystery at the heart of its plot, and is set in a small desert community, albeit with this one in a much more impressive with a much more impressive natural aspect in the form of the Grand Canyon, which this was shot on location at, and you can tell because it looks um, really rather realistically done in terms of how the on location shooting. The cast is also really good. The pacing is practically perfect. The locales are shot impressively while looking great thanks to its CinemaScope format. The plot is highly engrossing and the character interactions are solid. What I was most impressed by though with this film is the final action scene that although the actors aren't in the wide shots, you wouldn't really put them in such peril at the end of the day, is an incredible stunt on a cable car hundreds of feet above the Grand Canyon as characters are left dangling off the side as helicopters swirl around, getting footage of the whole thing. The way it is done as well feels extremely similar to the James Bond films. You know, you think of like Moonraker on the plane and with Jaws fighting alongside Jaws, making it feel far more modern while it is an entertaining scene in its own right. So, yeah, really rather enjoyable effort. Not as good as I said, Bad Day at Black Rock, which I think is that little bit more entertaining and engaging in terms of its plot. But yeah, in terms of pure entertainment, in terms of the action and the character interactions and just the general more mainstream appeal to this film, it's really good. And I like how it just pretty much immediately opens on a scene of murder and mystery, and you're like, what the hell's going on? It's just really well done. So, yeah, there's the disc. Um, yeah, there's no difference in terms of the reversible sleeve outside of removing the rating. We also get a booklet with this. So, a shot from the film and a behind the scenes shot. I think that's Don Siegel there going through the script. And then inside the booklet, we've got the cast and crew. Then we've got Satan's Bucket by Peter Cowie, which talks about the likes of CinemaScope. Then we get more shots from. Actually, I'm not going to show that one because it's got a bit of a spoiler in it. But we do have more shots from the film. And then we also have Filming a Thriller at the Grand Canyon by Kedrick Sweet from 1959. So that first write-up, by the way, is from 2025. So the one from 1959 is an article written for American cinematographer, producer Kendrick Sweet details the many logistical and technical challenges faced during the filming of Edges of Eternity. I imagine they were a great deal, working out in the desert, just a slight bit of wind or anything like that. It's got to kick up sand and dust and such, and that is obviously not something you want to deal with when filming. And then we've got Don Siegel on Edge of Eternity from 1993. So in these extracts from Siegel's colourful memoir, A Siegel Film, which was published posthumously in 1993, the director discusses the difficult production of Edge of Eternity. So yeah, on location shooting, even in 1959, wasn't massively common. It took, I think, until like the late 40s, in fact, for even New York to have an on location shoot. So yeah, you can imagine somewhere like the Grand Canyon that, although it's not entirely remote nowadays, was certainly more remote back then. So yeah, you can imagine how difficult it is to shoot there. And the film itself is has been sourced from a Sony's HD remaster, and the film's original mono soundtrack was remastered at the same time. And in terms of extras on the disc, well, we've got audio commentary with professor and film scholar Jason A. Ney from 2025. Into the Canyon, clocks in at 17 minutes long. That's from 2025. And writer and academic Jose Areo discusses Edge of Eternity in the context of Don Siegel's career. Then you got Closer to the Edge, also from 2025, clocking in at 30 minutes long. In-depth analysis of the analysis of the film by Areo. Then you got An Australian Cinderella from 2025, clocking it 17 minutes long. Academic Stephen Morgan discusses the life and career of Australian actor and Columbia contract player Victoria Shaw. Then you got an image gallery and new and improved English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing. So, yeah, and this is a UK premiere on Blu-ray. Not sure whether it's been released before, but yeah, finally nice to have it in the UK on Blu-ray, and it's limited to 3,000 copies for the UK as well. So, yeah, really, really good film. 4 out of 5 from me. So, yeah, highly enjoyable. It's another great effort from Don Siegel. Not quite his greatest effort, but definitely up there with some of his more notable releases. So, yeah, highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. But if you have, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.